All right, welcome back everybody to class 5, part 3, tonalism, mystery, memory, and imagination. And we are going to go check out everybody's beautiful work on our Padlet page. So we can do share screen. And we're back over here, and hopefully my microphone works as I change screens. It sound good?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. So let's go through here. And yeah, lots of new work. I don't think Barbara's with us right now. So we will spend more time next week looking through, giving you guys time to kind of finish up your work and start your homework or your big final assignment for the next couple of weeks. So if you need help with that, please post that as well, or if you have questions about that. And the assignment basically is just to use what you've learned, kind of the opportunity to put it into practice and work on something a little more finished, you know, in more time than just a week every time. And I'm just slowly scrolling across and seeing again who's here. All right, Cheryl is here. All right, so Cheryl, would you like to talk about any of your painting here from your trip?
Well, that's one I finished. I just finished from vacation.
Okay. Oh yeah, that looks like the hills of Italy.
Beautiful.
It doesn't qualify as a tonalist painting, though.
Not quite, no, but that's all right. So tell us a little bit about this one.
Well, in the mornings when you look down over the hill, all those hills down there were all filled with mist and fog every morning because it's in the fall. And some mornings there wasn't anything down there. You couldn't see the city or anything. So I just wanted to get that feeling. This is a semi-made up picture.
Okay.
And I just wanted to capture that feeling.
Very cool. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a good memory and, you know, nice representation of that. I have lots of photos of that time too, looking down over Lucca. And
That's exactly where it is, Lucca.
I wonder if we're in the same hills. That's interesting.
Could be.
Like it. That'd be interesting if it's the same area. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say as far as like, you know, painting and tonalism. Is this kind of in regards to like some of the lessons that you were learning from the workshop you took there, or?
No, not really.
All right, and do you have any idea of what you might want to do for your final assignment in this class?
No, I don't.
All right, well, I look forward to seeing. Hopefully it's, you know, one of your beautiful photos from Italy or something like that. I mean, you have quite a few photos, so. But yeah, this is a tough scene where you're looking down onto homes and everything else, and all the kind of, you know, looking down, looking across, looking back up. Yeah, I'm just kind of trying to look at the harmony of it and stuff. Yeah, do you have any questions in particular about it at all, or?
Well, there are some things that I'm not happy with. Like I just noticed that I have 3 lines in a row on the left side.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not happy with how the sky was.
Yeah, it looks like you added a lot of water to your acrylics to kind of get kind of a transparent wash going. Is that right?
Well, I did use some glazing liquid,
Oh, okay.
but it's all transparent colors anyway.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm just kind of squinting my eyes at it and trying to see, you know, where values, because I think that, you know, as the hills get further away, you know, oftentimes they'll get a little lighter. I know sometimes they peak up a little bit higher above the mist and the fog and they get dark again, but like this area right here kind of seems like one of the darkest, whereas I was
Too
thinking,
dark.
yeah, you know, just that recession of dark values will help to read the space.
Okay.
Um, you've got the overlapping forms, you've got, some big to small, but yeah, it doesn't quite feel too organized. It does feel like a nice note and a nice memory, but yeah, I feel like it almost feels like it could be a practice for a more refined image.
Okay.
Um, and I'm not positive, but you've got the fog kind of coming down as well as sitting down. I'm not, that may be happening where the clouds are kind of
Oh, I see what
over.
you're saying. That makes sense.
So you'd see more of the top of this hill, and then as it goes
Right.
down into the fog, it kind of disappears. I'll see if I can find any of my references too. Not that it's, the same place or the same time or anything, but yeah. Yeah. Anybody else have anything? I mean, I guess other things too would be like, I'm not sure what kind of trees these are, but they're getting, kind of big and a little bit on the basic side here for being so close to us and so prominent. I don't know if a little more broken up, again, I don't know what type of tree it is, but it almost looks like a close up of a pine cone shape where everything gets very regular and solid.
That's how they grow, but I did better on the one that I did that I didn't put any color on. If you go down, there's one down through there a little bit that's all, keep going. That was, yeah, there, go. One more.
That's
That's a
really nice.
particular kind of
No,
tree.
that's Frank's. One more. That one.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah, so,
started it out like that, and Frank said, please leave it. Don't put any color on it.
yeah, no, I like this one a lot. Yeah, so they're a type of cypress, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, the cypress are not, they're regular, but they're not so, you know what I mean? Like where every branch is the same
right.
exact. And did you said you're kind of making the image up that you painted?
Yeah, that other one I was.
Okay.
The house, I remember how the house looks and things, but then I wasn't sure where the hills were.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Do you have photo references that you could find and look back to, or?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I don't know.
I really like that one.
Yeah, I like this a lot too.
Everybody likes that one better than anything else.
Isn't that funny? Sometimes the quick sketches really are the ones, they capture something. Yeah. Anyways, I was gonna see if I found one really quickly, but it'd take me a while.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it just it has more of almost like an illustration feel to me, kind of a kind of whimsical
Okay.
appearance to it. And I think it's because of kind of the where you simplified things a little bit. I get what you're after and I respect it and like, but I think, yeah, I think a little more planning or thought, I think.
All right.
Yeah, sorry.
I was just trying to catch the sun as it came up.
Yeah, that's funny. Somebody over here. That has a lovely storybook feel and mood. And that's kind of what feels like to me. It's like a children's storybook illustration almost, where you're establishing a scene.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. And all right, we'll revisit everybody that I'm skimming past. Let me know if you see your name go by. I'm really trying to like take my eyes back and forth to see who's here. Did I see Don's here?
I'm here.
All right, Don, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Great. Were you here for the class?
Yep.
I figured you just like, okay, it's 12:30. I can sign in now. He'll be there for a while.
That's
I was
pretty.
I was a couple minutes late.
Oh no, that's fine. I don't. Yeah, I just
Oh my God.
didn't get to see who was all here. So yeah, this is nice. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it started as a plein air painting down at our family beach cabin,
Nice.
and I'm not a real confident painter, so plein air is even harder.
Yeah.
But I brought it home and added a color to it, which was the limited palette, Indian yellow, ultramarine blue, and the trans earth red.
Oh, wow. Wow. And you got
And
these colors, or you added a blue? Oh, I guess as a, go ahead,
that's the ultramarine.
yeah.
The composition's okay. I need to look at some photo references for fir trees. Those are on the right are terrible. Um, but encouraging watching you today in your paint of your painting that you can keep pushing and pushing and pushing until you get it where you want it. You don't have to say, oh, this is not going to work and just quit.
Right, yeah, otherwise I'd have no paintings.
Um,
It's really nice. I think your design is quite great. I like your nice silhouettes and big shapes, and got a lot of interesting things going. It's got a nice harmony already. But yeah, I mean, you can kind of see where you kind of got frustrated a little bit in here, and when you paint wet into wet, you have to really practice having a real soft touch,
sure.
where you just got to let the paint kind of skim across. It feels like we should load it and then push it in, but it's
Yeah.
actually you just want to lay it on top, and you can just keep kind of layering paint for a long time. It can get really thick.
Okay. Yeah. I watched your light touch today, especially.
Yeah, good. No, this is nice. Where's your beach house at?
Um, it's up on the Puget Sound,
Oh, okay.
by near Olympia.
Yeah, very cool. I used
Um,
to, as a little kid, I lived on the Quinault Indian Reservation up there.
oh, okay. Could you look at the next one down real quick?
Yep. Yeah, look at that. Nice.
Nice.
And
Nice.
you-
And the green color.
I'm just amazed at how sitting here looking at the actual painting, how much more muted and lighter in value it is. And when I take a picture with my phone, it just gets all dark and muddy.
Yeah, photographing art is so difficult. Um, you know, our one benefit is living in the Pacific Northwest is the foggy mornings or foggy days. And that's the best time is take it outside on an overcast day with
Okay.
real soft light. And that's usually when I get my best photos of my work. A lot of times I'll kind of let them stack up and then just shoot like 20 paintings in a row. And then quickly before I, move them all outside, quickly give them a glance because sometimes you still get glare. A lot of them I'll photograph in like 2 or 3 different areas in the backyard, sometimes upright, sometimes laying down flat. And it really seems each painting has its own needs as far as how to photograph it. But yeah, photographing artwork is still strangely hard, even with how clever the iPhones or our phones are now.
So one observation is that while I don't really think this is a tonalist painting, it started with a Indian yellow background. And I will say it's very toned down from the way I used to paint. I was probably more of a colorist.
No, yeah, well, that's fine too. Yeah, I'm not trying to make everybody into a tonalist, but it's just fun to learn how to mute our colors, and mixing across the color wheel or using a limited palette, and all these things can be really powerful. You would think by having less colors we'd do less work, but it's actually allows us to do more because we can remix the colors, we can make them harmonize. I mean, in this painting you've got a lot of colors. You got yellow, orange, green, red, purple, pink, and it still has kind of an innate harmony to it. There's some areas that kind of stand out and stuff, but it's coming along. you know, as far as like having like some areas that are really blurry and other areas that are real scratchy and other areas that are really detailed, you know, that's natural as you're getting used to paints and everything else. But eventually you're going to kind of want to go, okay, I don't probably want my blurriest area in the focal point. You know, this tree's kind of an important area.
Sure.
Probably, you know, I might blur the edges. Like this tree looks great being kind of soft and, you know, because it's not in the focus, you know, and I can soften this, can lead the viewer that way, but that will come just by literally time on the brush. And you're still learning literally all of it, how to hold the brush, how to, you know, what amount of pressure, how much paint, all the things. So yeah, I mean, it's really nice.
Yeah.
I think it's coming along great.
Well, thank you.
All right, Gail.
I'm here.
Gail, our newest acrylic painter in the class.
Yeah, I hated every second of it. That is the acrylic underpainting, and I absolutely hated every minute of it. I couldn't get it to do anything I wanted to.
Yeah, isn't it weird?
Mhm.
It's an odd bit of a wrestling match as you're getting used to it. Like Cheryl was saying, a lot of the acrylics are more transparent too. So you know, I almost feel like I have to layer and layer and layer to get.
And that was burnt. That was straight burnt sienna. So that
should be a very opaque color. Yeah.
But it was on a slick board. And that was one of my experiments. Trying to figure out how to cover up a slick board so it had a little more absorbency to it, I guess is the best word to put it. But
right.
That's the underpainting. What's above it is my painting over the underpainting. So and it's not done yet, but that's as far as I got.
That looks so nice.
Beautiful.
Is
Yeah,
that
acrylics also?
No.
Oil? Okay.
Oil over the top of that acrylic mess. And it's not done, but that's as far as I got.
Well, that's I like that.
beautiful?
Michael, could we actually use water soluble oils as a base painting?
I do it all the time. This is water soluble
Oh, okay.
over acrylic.
Yeah.
I only use water soluble oil.
Okay.
The reference for this is below all this mess. And I saw you pointing at that bright yellow, and that's part of what needs to go away. Right. Keep
Wait,
going.
what am I looking
Right.
for? Sorry.
Keep going. It should be there. Maybe, oh, maybe not. Okay. It's not there. It's not there. I didn't post the reference for that. That's the palette I used for the painting.
Is that
you
a
were just
transparent earth red?
Yeah, transparent red, earth red, Indian yellow, and ultramarine blue.
And then did you
Yes.
even use Payne's gray?
No, that's just earth red and ultramarine to get my black. So that's the palette I used on the painting above. But the painting above that I was working on, not that one. I mean, that's an underpainting too. And that's transparent red on a gessoed board. And it got really sticky. It did not have the maneuverability that I'm used to. I think when I do an underpainting again on a gessoed board, I'll probably use a little linseed oil or something with it. It got really, really sticky. Anyway, but this one, I apologize for not putting the reference photo on there, but this had the orange in the middle where your arrow is, really bright, that is diminished on the reference photo. There's some trees in there. The point of interest is actually the sky right above it. And there was significantly more reflection in the trees. And then there was that fog that went across it. So it had the stumbling in it, which is why I picked that reference. I'll post the reference. So like I said, this is not done. that's just as far as I got.
Gotcha. So you're gonna come back and add a layer of fog and,
And bring the reflections down. And they were almost equally dark as the trees.
interesting, yeah,
So that so the fog popped out. And then there
gotcha.
were some trees kind of overlaying that bright yellow. So that anyway, so I've got work to do on it, but that's as far as I got.
Yeah, well, it's amazing that, it started with such heartache and it's already gotten this far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting. So, Cheryl, quick question for you.
Yeah,
Do you ever use the transparent or the clear gesso?
yes, I do. Not
'Cause that's-
often.
Yeah, because that's a way to deal with a really slick board, is just a little coat of the transparent gesso,
Oh, I didn't know there was such a thing.
clear gesso.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cheap
it's
Joe's has it, comes in a bottle.
Who has it?
Yeah,
Cheap Joe's.
Okay.
but it has a sandy texture to it. So you might want to be a little bit careful. Like, it'll tear up my brushes when I stumble on top of it a little bit.
Yeah,
So-
I left you a note because mine doesn't get sandy.
Okay, and yeah, you said you had Cheap Joe's. I think mine's a Liquitex version.
Yeah,
It's probably dried up by now because I got tired of tearing up my brushes.
Okay. Well, I just did a whole bunch of boards. And like I said, I was going to try a little linseed oil and see if I can't, so it doesn't get so sticky.
Yeah, but then it'll be slick again.
Well, yeah, but I'm hoping that the fact that the gesso sucks up the paint more, it'll balance off.
Yeah, well, let me know. You're my experiment on that.
Yeah.
one.
Oh, I'm definitely experimenting.
Do a little 5x7 to see how you like it.
I could do that.
good point.
I didn't know that you could mix the linseed oil with water.
It's water soluble linseed.
Oh, okay, I didn't know there was such.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they have a lot of mediums now in the water soluble.
They do. That's the water mixed with soluble linseed. And
Oh, okay.
and I also mostly I use this, the water soluble glazing.
Oh,
Cobra.
Yeah, Cobra makes good products.
Yep, I like Cobra.
Linda, are you painting the desert?
Michael, you told me to.
Nice job.
And she's using a reference.
And I even have a reference in there, except that was like, I snapped so many photographs that evening. And I did that. Where is my reference? There's another one.
Well, I saw
somewhere.
you added a bunch to the photo reference
Yeah,
section.
I think it's in the photo references, the one that I actually used.
But see, it's totally a Linda painting. It's still got the angelic,
Yep.
it's
Yep.
still got the whimsy, but this is
Yeah.
so much
nice.
easier to talk
That's
to you about.
beautiful.
Mhm.
That's how it was that day. It was, the wind was blowing, it was hot and terrible, and sand was flying, and that's what was happening in the sky. It looked like it was going to just thunderstorm and kill us all, but it didn't. It didn't rain a drop. But the sky was just black. It was crazy.
It looks like
Yeah.
a theater setting. Theater set.
And the bunny grass is yellow everywhere right now, the rabbit
Oh.
grass. So then the cool blues, those little cool blue green bushes that we have out here, there's some kind of little, they're not a sage, I don't know what the heck they are, but and then the creosote and the mesquite, they were just all competing in that wind,
This is one of my favorite paintings I've seen of yours. This is
Yeah,
really
it's
nice.
beautiful.
You've got
Yes,
your
it is.
harmony and yeah, I mean, lots of great things. I think maybe the darks in some of these hills could be pushed down just a little bit because this one's
lighter or darker.
a little lighter. Because see how these darks want to come forward.
Yeah, I could
Um,
make them lighter. Actually, I made them darker because they were just, it's really strange. I wish you could see the reference. I know I put it there. I don't know where it went. It has
yeah,
a way of just flying out of that one.
Wow.
And it changed from that to just, I didn't even take a picture of it. It was just, the light was just shooting down all over through because the sun was up above and the light was, all of this to the right changed. And it was dark and there were holes and it was more like what I painted than, and it was amazing. It was just amazing.
where was I? Yeah, you've shared a lot of really beautiful
Oh, yeah.
pictures here.
They're morning or evening. And no matter where on the property I go, I can always come back to this old tree and see the sun right there. One down, right there. And always north, south, it doesn't matter. I can always catch the sun coming through those branches right there.
Wow.
It's a lot of fun.
And everybody always likes that. And I don't know. People keep saying, show me that again. Like my friends will say, show me that again. I go, well, it looks the same as the last one I took. And that's sunrise in the west. That's what the west looks like when the sun's rising. It'll get this peachy or pink at different times of the year at different colors. In the first of the spring, it's a pale blue and a pink in the sky. And now it's peachy looking.
I could really, I mean, this almost is a tonalist painting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I turn around and take the opposite of the brightness. Like even if it's morning or evening, I'll always photograph something on the opposite of what the bright is. So I can see the,
And then here you've got the side lighting, which is really nice and effective as well.
yeah, that's an evening painting.
A little bit of rim light and then
Yeah.
a little bit of shadows.
And these are the Sawtooth Mountains in front of me, and they're so beautiful. They're just tragically beautiful to me. I just love them.
Yeah, I mean, I want you to paint desert scenes.
Yeah.
You just live in such a beautiful spot. I mean, I don't want you to stop doing everything you're doing. But again, hopefully you didn't have to do any chores because I gave you so much homework.
I know, but I did them all.
Oh, okay.
I've scumbled. On one of them, I've scumbled, but on the paintings. But and that's a sunrise.
Wow.
And it moves, it's really fun. People that don't live or that live in the city think the sun just comes up in the same place in the east, but living out here and from my childhood, I remember how the sun moved across the horizon. And it's wonderful to see it in the different, it's about halfway to all the way to the south where it'll go. And I think
And I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. You've
Yes.
done a beautiful job.
I'm gonna cry, Michael.
I mean, even this, I really like this too. Like I like your restraint. Again, I don't want you to be a realist. I don't want you to, not paint all your memories and dreams and everything else.
Yeah.
But again, as an instructor and as your fellow students, it's so much easier for us to help you with something that we can, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if it's like, well, you should have been there in my dream, or it's not very easy for us to talk about. So
No.
That's
yeah,
beautiful paint.
Yeah.
Thank you. And
Well,
that's
great.
kind of tonalist, isn't it? Kind
Oh,
of.
for sure, yeah. And again, I just don't really care. I just had to think of a name for the class. And we're using a lot of the tenets and ideas, but it's more of a tool for me to get across of a limited palette, working on simplifying design, big shapes, big values. And I really don't care about the purity of tonalism. And I don't even know if there's a such thing, because I've told you guys that every website you go to about tonalism says something different of what it even means. So
Plus, tonalism is having a resurgence, and
yeah,
we're the new generation of tonalists, and we're in control.
there
We
you
can-
go.
I like your thought process.
Yes,
Yes, I
indeed.
like that, Linda. Yeah.
All right.
And,
So
and I
Lisa's not
worked on
here.
my hunting, I worked on my hunting picture too. I made the sun ray, the sunshine through the trees. I don't know if I got it posted or not. Yeah, maybe, but that's not the best one.
Yeah, that's from that's the one we looked at last time.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Tell me what you think about the bales of hay thing as a
Bales.
top of this painting.
What's that? It's the toppest one?
The bales of hay, there's one with 3 or 4 bales right there.
I like that one.
I like that too.
Yeah, I remember we were looking at it in one of the Thursday classes.
Yeah, nice.
Photograph is not really good because it's dark all the way across, but
Right. And that would be my big thing. Normally, I would say this is, a big kind of a waste of space and kind of uninteresting, but I actually really like it. It really adds to the mood, and it has an ominous feeling to it.
and that's how it was, really ominous. And Daddy
Yeah.
was saying, get those last bales of hay on this truck, girl. Okay.
Oh, I know. I remember those days. Except that's not what my dad called me.
Oh, I know. If you were a boy, you could have done it 3 times faster, girl. That's what
I
he said.
don't know. My little sister was so strong. She still is, but she's a lifetime rancher now. So
Yeah.
she
wow.
could, I think she could throw hay bales that weighed as much as she did. But
Yeah.
she was also trying to feed her own horses, where I hated all the horses, and like, why do I have to do this?
I was,
I already know everything we feed them, I'm gonna have to clean up later.
yeah, I was 85 pounds picking up 120-pound bales of hay.
Oh, now look how strong you are.
I know, I'm trying.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Linda,
Ooh, that's beautiful, Linda.
Oregon Pond. Where is it? The Oregon Pond
Oh
from?
my,
Oh,
that's
that's
beautiful.
gorgeous.
That's
What
from,
was-
if you scroll down, I altered one of your photos. I asked you last week where it was. You told me, I wrote it on the back. It is Vernonia.
Oh, Vernonia, yeah.
Yeah,
I believe that's true.
but I changed it a lot. I wanted it to be a different format, so. And then of course, when I started painting, it changed even more, so that's what happens.
Yeah, well, good.
I
No,
like
that's
it.
exactly right.
Like it?
Very nice.
And so a weird thing happened. I was planning to just do a single palette, limited palette. And so I did my wipeout. And I was using a yellow ochre, Quinn Rose, and Payne's Gray. So that was the wipeout. And I
Mhm.
came back the next day and I just messed up. Because I'd done so many experimental palettes that week, I just started looking at one of the other ones. So then I wound up doing the over painting. I guess it was 2 days later. Yellow ochre and Quinn Rose, which were the same as the underpainting, but with turquoise.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was interesting because I think I'm going to do that on purpose now. Like
Yeah,
have
yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful.
a different palette for the underpainting than I have for the overpainting.
And actually, I do change my palette for the overpainting almost
Yeah.
every time.
Okay. Yeah, I liked some of the effects that I was getting, especially because, if I could have the underpainting shine through, obviously by keeping it thin. Excuse me. And yeah, I liked it. I liked how it worked.
What was
I
your
like-
blue again?
The blue in the underpainting was Payne's Gray. The blue in the overpainting was that turquoise, what's it called? It was that light turquoise that you started with today, Michael. It
Oh,
was
really? The
cobalt
cobalt teal?
Wow.
that, yeah, which looks turquoise to me. And the
Yeah,
only thing I cheated on is I bought in some cobalt in those upper left highest clouds. So there's a little cobalt in there. Otherwise, I stayed true to that
well,
palette.
that's good. That makes me, because I've got a number of underpaintings going right now that are dry. And maybe that teal is that I squeezed out and quickly discarded is salvageable.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it's gorgeous. The sky reflection is absolutely, I think.
Yes, it
Yeah.
does.
And
Oh,
It's a beautiful, it's a stunning painting, absolutely beautiful.
That was tedious.
very nice. I know.
Very good. Yeah, this is lovely. I think you're finding your style. And you can do it in a day or two now versus a month or two.
Yeah, which is incredible to me. I never thought I would get there.
Oh, that-
Never.
That's a beautiful, beautiful painting.
Thank you.
It really is.
Let's look at your color palette here real quick.
That was the underpainting one, and that was the result.
And I mean, the underpainting's beautiful already, but I do like how you finished it off. Those cools really speak to it. This is even more moody and kind of unhappy, whereas your other
Yeah,
one
right.
has kind of a sense of
Yeah, a little less scary.
a little less scary, yeah, and a little more hopeful and a little more realistic too.
Mhm.
George.
Well, I'm proud of you for experimenting with, different colors, trying new things, and
Thank
it's
you.
always nice that it actually works.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, not always the case by any means, but nice job.
Thank you.
All right, Meg also used one of my references of Savi Island. Man, that's turning out nice.
Oh, that's pretty.
So I look forward to talking
Mhm.
about everybody's work when they're here. Michelle had to drop off too.
No, I'm still here.
Michelle Champagne is here. Yes, I meant Michelle Fritzler.
Oh,
Sorry.
the
Yeah,
other one. Okay.
great. All right. We're gonna look at your painting. All right, yeah, that's a nice reference. Look at those giant, are those single hay bales or are those stacks?
I'm not sure. It's been a while since I took the picture.
I think it's those great big oversized ones.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I
it
think they're
is.
really big ones.
Yeah, they
That's
kind
what
of
they
just
do
drop
out
in the middle of a cow pasture and leave.
No, they have hundreds of them.
Wow, that's a nice reference. Yeah, it's got a good sense of depth, form. It's got kind of a little bit of everything. It's got good light, strong, strong light and shadow. Great. Okay, and then you livened it up even more. All right, tell us a little bit about what you got going on here. Are you using a palette knife?
No, I just use the regular brush.
Okay, it's got nice thick brush strokes going on.
Yeah, I tried to keep it really loose.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely has that feeling.
And
love
I use
that. Love this middle area. Those transitions are really nice. That cool green, cool gray green into the gray holes and stuff. All right, yeah. Sorry, I keep cutting you off.
No, that was me. I'm sorry, I was interrupting you. The immediate foreground is really nice too.
Yeah, nice texture. I love like this little area here, and yeah, and you're like even abstracting some areas, which is really nice. I would say the one thing that draws my eye is right here, this strong contrast right here. I almost can't look away from it, and it almost yeah, I don't know if it's necessary at all to even have it dark there.
Yeah, I can definitely change that.
Oh yeah.
There's one just a little above it too.
Soften it up.
Left. That one.
Soften and lighten it up.
I would, yeah. Yeah.
The only other thing I see is the hay bale in the back is equally as dark as the one in the foreground.
Okay.
Look,
It'll be
it doesn't
lighter.
quite grounded. It looks like it's floating a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see that.
It's really quite nice. Again, yeah, I like your texture. The fact that you're using such thick and juicy paint early on is really impressive, and you're able to control it
I
pretty
didn't use
well.
the underpainting. I didn't use an underpainting for this one, so that was kind of. I usually always do an underpainting, but since I used a limited palette, I just I'll just start it off.
And 5 inches by 5 inches, I just saw that.
hmm
Wow.
Beautiful.
Amazing. I would have guessed this was easily at least 12 inches by 12 inches.
hmm
Yeah, you're doing a lot of things that are really fun and interesting. I can see it in your brushwork where you're not over mixing your colors. So you're
Mhm.
getting these kind of nice little striations, kind of the marbleization of paint.
hmm
That's generally, I mean, I have a group of artists, and the guy's been same age as me, a week difference, has been painting as long as I have, and he never knew about marbleizing, not over mixing the paint and letting it kind of
Uh-huh.
marble, and you're doing it kind of naturally. That's really neat. And so do you know what I mean by that, where you mix your color but don't over mix it? So like to make
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, and then you just allow that to kind of show up in the brush strokes. And like if you squint your eyes at it, right, you don't see it because our eyes mix those colors together. But up close, you can see these little striations that are really interesting, and they add a life to painting. So as your instructor, and as you're self-professed kind of beginner, and I would say don't lose that. That's something that
Okay.
I'm literally at my, I'm trying to work on more. That's why I like doing like my little 30 brush stroke challenges and stuff,
Uh-huh.
because I'm forced to do it, or I'm not forced to, but I think about it more. So yeah, I think there's a lot of goodness going on here that I don't want you to lose in my classes, even though I don't do it and I don't talk about it too much. So
Okay.
Gail's right. Let's kind of get in here, soften this. Also, the hay bale kind of goes up. If you can kind
Okay.
of,
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
wanted to, you could straighten it. If the paint's wet, you could have a little bit of that orange or whatever. But don't go crazy on that. That's not a big deal. The only big deal for me is this.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
again,
see it now.
squint my eyes, I just go right to that. So that's kind of a good test, is like, step away from the painting for a little while, go chase your son around, come back in, and then just like take a quick glance or squint your eyes at it and just go, okay, where does my eye go? And is that where I want it to go?
Okay. Yeah.
Again, if we go back to the reference, it sure may be like that, but that doesn't mean you need to do it.
Mhm.
Nicely
I think it
done.
might be actually a little softer and a little lighter in the reference.
Probably, I would bet so. Or not even there.
Yeah.
Well, kind of. I see what you're saying. So what happens when we look at scenes like this is we'll look into the shadows, and if you squint your eyes, you can, those little spots almost disappear. But as we start to look at it and we're going, okay, I've put the light in. Oh, wow, this is actually really a strong contrast to that light. But again, if you squint your eyes, it's so light compared to the dark here.
Yeah, whenever it was really small before you clicked on it, you couldn't even see it.
Right. Yeah,
The dark.
exactly. So yeah, squinting our eyes at our reference and then squinting our eyes at our photos are really great tool because it just kind of simplifies things. All right. Nyla, you got off work. They're letting you hang out with us for a little bit.
I'm still at work.
You're multitasking.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if I know you, as soon as you get off work, you're going to go have 7 grandkids to take care of. So you're probably more relaxed at work than at home. Well, so you were saying that you didn't have a chance to paint this week, which is understandable. So tell us a little bit about like these exercises that you were doing here.
Okay, my original plan was to, experiment with a lot more color combinations than I had time to do. So I just did 3. And then I picked the middle section, the Payne's Gray section. And that first dark lump is actually kind of a eggplant color.
Yeah, you can see it there in the light area.
So
And then I chose that one to experiment with further by adding white, about a pea size graduation. And that was really an interesting activity to do, because some of the colors, when I would add the white, I could see an obvious change. And some of them, it seemed like it was so gradual that I almost couldn't see a change, the yellow in particular.
Right, it really takes its time, and then it kind of gets lost in
And
here.
I was putting a good pea-sized lump of titanium white in with each time I went down. So even
Yeah,
though
but what a
some
great
of them look
exercise.
similar, and if I looked at them in different angles, I could see the slight differences.
But yeah, you can definitely see it when you skim your eye across it quickly. But yeah, some colors really seem to stay the same for, yeah, it's really interesting. And yeah, some colors are so strong, and then some like this one really shifts beautifully. Look at these.
Right.
Like this would be a beautiful studio color.
Yeah. And I intended to put all three of the colors together and do add the white to them, but it was getting close to 11 o'clock at night, so I just stopped.
Great job. They're
Thank you.
lovely. And those are great exercises. Okay, Regini picked a crazy reference. Holy cow.
This was
Wow.
a photograph I had taken in Canada, Edmonton. I just
Yeah, so weird when I see these textures like in the sand and stuff at the beach.
yeah.
It's almost like skeletal.
Yeah.
But it's so weird what clouds do. I'm always so curious, like, should I paint these really odd effects or not? But yeah, let's see.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, really nice. Really interesting. Like, yeah, it's definitely, if this was in a show, I would have to stop to look at it because it's just so interesting, so different. Beautiful colors, nice transitions. I love your whole bottom area. Like that could be a painting unto itself for sure. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about the clouds because I try to not paint the odd things.
uh-huh.
But, I don't want to tell anybody else not to.
It worked out here.
What's that?
It worked out here, but you see some that are just like impossible to even think about. But these look good.
Yeah, no, it does. And it definitely looks like something I've seen. I think we've all seen where the clouds do that weird texture, and that's where you yell at your spouse, "Get out here! The sky is crazy." Very nice, Regini. Lovely colors.
And you can tell they're moving toward you.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah, it definitely has a lot of
Yeah.
depth and perspective.
A
Yeah.
lot of good depth.
Wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
And I think that is all of us.
Yeah, it looks like.
Okay, great. Well, thank you guys for another fun class. Thanks for sticking with me in that painting. I went downstairs to my wife and I'm like, I avoided a catastrophe. That thing was terrifying. Yeah, I'll go take the dog for a long walk. I'm watching my parents' dog this week. Sweetest old lady. And come back and get fresh eyes on my painting and see what changes need doing. But that was a lot of fun. I really appreciate you guys challenging me and letting me challenge myself in front of you. Like, I think most teachers would practice the painting, or at least practice the palette before they paint it and record it. But I like to swing for the fences with you guys and show you that, you know, if nothing else, bravery is fun. You don't always win, as we all know, but you know, that's how we learn and play and experiment. This video here is really quite good that Meg shared with us. I've watched it before, and I was rewatching it this morning while I was setting up. For those of you who want to go deep into light and color, his videos, there are 4 people working in animation, and he's worked in films and stuff like that quite a bit. So anyways, I find all that very interesting. Yeah, and there's my class if you want to sign in. Otherwise, oh, there's what's Thalo. Man, you guys share cool stuff. Anyways, you guys are awesome. I will see hopefully some of you tomorrow in the morning, and I'll send out a reminder of that after I get these videos down. And yeah, start thinking about your big final project. What's something you want to spend a little more time, you know, maybe, you know, don't go crazy. Don't, you know, make yourself too nervous. But yeah, I'm looking forward to slowing it down, working on a painting, at least for me, over a couple days, versus just an hour and a half. And yeah, if any of you guys have any really good ideas of something I should paint, let me know. Otherwise, I'll start looking through my references. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
You guys?
Michael, what do you think about if I
Bye.
what do you think about if I repainted the one that you like, the sunset one?
Do it. Yeah, nothing wrong with revisiting a scene.
Yeah,
could
a
do
little-
I almost wonder too if you don't need to do as much of the light rays and stuff on it.
yeah,
I think
Yeah.
you maybe leaned into your Linda side a little
Yeah.
more than necessary. I think
Yeah.
that it might actually be a little stronger with a little less.
okay. That
I would
sounds
make it more about this area and less about this area.
okay.
Possibly. Yeah, I know better than to tell Linda what to do.
So
Mike,
just ignore you anyway.
Yeah.
Michael, I have one quick question.
Please.
Can we use walnut oil as a medium?
Yeah, absolutely. At least that's what I've heard. I've heard that, yes, that you should not have a problem, that it mixes with linseed oil fine. I've not done it.
What about stand oil?
Stand oil is linseed oil, I believe, that's been like cooked.
Oh, okay. I just wondered what the difference was.
I watched a video on it, and the guy was showing even how to make it, and I still didn't quite understand, but it was a pretty interesting. I don't know if he was making his own medium or if he was showing how to make stand oil. It seemed like he was mixing oil, linseed oil, and also like some kind of a paint thinner, and then he was cooking it and then
my
letting it.
God.
Ooh, no.
Yeah,
Sounds like a meth lab.
yeah,
so many years ago, I could get boiled linseed oil. That's what they called it instead of stand oil.
I think the strand oil is very thick.
Yeah,
Oh,
compared
very
to
thick.
linseed oil.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's extremely heavy.
Yeah, more like honey.
Yeah,
Yeah, I really try to keep. I think you're doing fine with what you got, Gail. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to confuse it anymore than I'm already confused.
Right. I mean, if you ever need a whole bunch of extra paint materials, just come to my studio and you can have them all, because I've got, I go out and I buy them, and then I use them once or twice, and then I'm like, it's getting confusing. So I prefer simplicity. I mean, the last 2 paintings I've done in class, I didn't even use Gamsol. I just painted with direct paint, and I really enjoyed it, especially probably coming off a big bender of, doing really transparent and real, scrubbing and all that and wiping away. It was kind of fun to jump back into opacity and, big thick paint. So anyways.
Well, I like the transparency, and I like the paint to move. I don't like the sticky. So I'm just trying to solve a problem, which is why I'm.
So yeah, what I've been doing is I showed you the little dropper that I made with linseed oil. And
Yeah,
just
and
a
that's my
drop or
concern.
two is all I need. And yeah,
Mm.
probably even put a dropper on top of that little container that you have.
Mhm.
And that seems to work the best. I remember back when I was first starting to paint in college and stuff, you know, and they're like tell you all the things, but they didn't tell you how to use them. And I remember just pouring linseed oil into my paints and it just, you know, literally dripping and running and
Yeah,
never
like
drying.
olive oil.
And yeah,
And I should be able to paint my glazing medium over the top of whatever I use with linseed oil too, right?
in theory, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, your paints are made with that linseed oil already, so it should be just, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question.
All right.
Linseed, why will linseed oil not make her paint be sticky like it was before? She had a
It-
problem with the paint being sticky and she's gonna use linseed oil. What does the linseed oil do that dries it?
Makes it, I'm hoping that it makes it smoother and a little bit more maneuverable.
Yeah,
Like more oil to it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Right,
So,
but it might still dry sticky. Or
so
it
it'll
shouldn't.
dry. No, it will. It'll get sticky as it dries, but it'll get sticky slower because you're slowing down the drying time, and it will thin the paint,
Mhm.
making it
Okay.
more runny and more smooth. So what I
Okay.
found is like, especially if I'm using like fast matte paints or, you know, all the paints have their different drying times, unfortunately. Right. So if I squeeze out my normal 6-color palette and plus white, and let it sit, you know, I've been working with it for a couple days. Some of those piles get stickier, they get
Mhm.
thicker. And so, yeah, that's when I'll drop a couple drops in and whip it up with the palette knife and get them back to the working consistency I like. And again, I think I've told you that my ideal working situation is where I whip them all up with a drop or two of linseed oil to where they're all the same consistency across the board.
Mhm.
I keep thinking that I might start using Rembrandt paints because that's one of their things is that they're pre-mixing all their paints to be the same consistency. Whereas with Gamblin, some colors are come out rock hard, other ones, you know, come out runny, and they're worried more about the color, and some kind of a purity thing. And I respect that, but but it's not that fun to work with sometimes.
Yeah.
I think Rich's
So-
is very consistent in all of their tubes, all of their colors, the same.
Yeah, and that's a big thing. I spent a lot of time talking with them, and yeah, I'm friends with some of their manufacturers and stuff. And yeah, they're really like that is our whole goal with our paints. And man, they're really, I'm really enjoying some of the colors that I have. They sent me I kind of explained what I was doing. They sent me a bunch of colors to experiment with and try, and yeah, I really enjoyed them. So yeah.
Even M. Graham paints are very fluid and easy to, they all are same consistency.
Oh, are they? Yeah, I haven't. I used to use a lot of M. Graham, and I haven't in a long time.
Yeah, I
And I
think.
don't think that, even though they're an Oregon company, I don't even think they sell them at my local shop anymore.
Oh,
They sell them
At
in
least you have a
watercolors.
local shop.
Yeah, it's dangerous having a shop about 3 miles away.
yeah,
That's where I was in Phoenix, 3 miles away from the art school on Indian School Road. Oh my God.
And I'll go in there for literally just some more Gamsol, and $250 later.
There you go. I saved a lot of money being 90 miles away.
Yeah, exactly right.
Mine are all Winsor Newton and Cobra.
oh,
Yeah, because you're using the water soluble. Yeah.
Yeah,
water
yeah, I'm
fixable.
pretty limited with who I can purchase from.
Cobra, the Cobra people are related to the Rembrandt, I think. I'm not, I shouldn't have said that. I'm not positive.
Yeah, I'm just pulling stuff out of my bag and I'm pulling all Winsor Newton and Cobra. But anyway.
Yeah, and I have a little set of Cobras that they also sent me to try out because they said that that's what I should use for travel. And that makes so much sense since I can't take paint thinner or, you know, even some of
Oh,
the mediums.
gotcha. Okay. Well, when you're painting in your kitchen, it helps.
Yeah, and I've got a painting, a plein air painting I did in Italy downstairs that I really, really like. And I did that with the first time I ever touched the Cobra paints. And so I like really quickly just forgot I was using water mixable paints.
I really
So,
like them.
yeah, if I was, yeah, I mean, maybe I should change back over to those, but yeah. Anyways, I gotta go walk a dog, you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, have fun.
you.
Thanks,
Take care.
thanks
Everybody,
so much
great seeing
for
you guys.
Thank you,
hanging in.
Michael.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.